Our paper is going to be based around a local area, not in Rotherham itself, because it's too big an area. And so we decided to base our paper around where we live, which is Kinworth. We picked the Masthead, which is the word Kinworth in it, so it relates to the local area rather than having an irrelevant masthead such as Rotherham when it's only Kinworth. It doesn't make sense, so we decided to make a masthead that's relevant to Kinworth. Yeah, again, with the cell line, we didn't want to make a cell line that had no relevance, so we stayed in Kinworth again. And then we're thinking to use the top one because it's got alliteration in it like some other newspapers, and we thought it'd be a good model to use on our newspaper since we've not done it before. But yeah, we had some problem thinking of stuff for lead stories, so we basically just had a 5-minute brainstorm to see what we could come up with, and we didn't really come up with much. But basically it was just things to do with our local area, just irrelevant things that we could write about.
Are these real stories you can talk about?
Yeah, we didn't just come up with random stuff. We actually thought about things that had happened around our area. So for example, the top one's one with Michael's, and we thought about crime and etc. and things like that, because crime goes on everywhere.
Yeah. What you do, you need to find some sort of like specific topics that are particularly relevant. It might be if you're going to do a crime, maybe you need some like something's actually happened. As you're going to spate with burglaries, for example, of the local police trying to push some kind of stay safe kind of campaign or something like that. You could tie in with your local area. It might be worth sort of like checking out maybe the Rotherham's website for the local police. They might have some kind of campaign going on you can talk about.
Okay. Again, we didn't quite know where we were going for half of these stories, so I thought we could put something that quite major, like national news or a local sporting event. So this is loads of sporting teams in Sheffield. There's loads of things going on to do with things like that.
Yeah, sport was in the back. It's all the back page sport.
Yeah, we didn't think about this again, but all we could think about for photos that had relevance. So don't go take a picture of something random and then stick it on the front page, so it's just confusing. Yeah, it's no good having an advert from somewhere in Doncaster in a local paper in Kinworth. So again, it doesn't make sense. So we think about local businesses again, so like local shops, etc. I mean, you can get bigger businesses around Kinworth because you've got some Tinsley estate and etc. Some bigger industrial companies to ask for adverts as well.
You don't just have to be just stuck to Kinworth, because obviously it's going to draw anywhere in Rotherham, Sheffield, or even that kind of local area is going to draw in business from Kinworth anyway, innit? So I wouldn't be too that desperate just keeping it in Kinworth.
We didn't think that our newspaper would be good enough that people would want to pay for it, so we thought we'd make it free instead. It's going to come out weekly, I think. Yeah, weekly, and it's going to be a free paper like Metro, because really we don't think it's going to be worthy to be paid for. If it was paid for, it would be like 10p.
Are there any local newspapers in your area that are free? Do you get any like shots at the door?
I don't get any newspapers put through the door. I mean, on newspapers we get through, you have to pay for them.
Yeah, it's alright, so there doesn't be any competition then. That's good.
Yeah, we're going through this idea of synergy again, but we're still thinking about doing just more than a radio advert, so a few posters or something like that as well, to advertise it. It's a little bit extra to just carry it forward a little bit. And that's it.
Okay, yeah, it looks like you need a lot more thinking to do, don't you? Yeah, you need to put your heads together, really settle down, and sort of like decide what you want to do, because obviously time is running short. So we need some more specifics. My suggestion to you with newspapers, we've got a lot of Eckington leaders kicking around. That's the kind of template you're going to want to be following. You're going to need to find some local community news to be able to report on. You're going to need to decide what kind of businesses you want on your advertising. obviously you can find your half lead story as well, and your page 2 stories. You need at least 3 or 4 of them, at the very least 5 possibly. Yeah, they don't have to be very big. If you look at things like Yekington Legion, it's like really bland. Like one of them I was looking at yesterday was like they built a gate. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. One of them, I think, was like the one for what was it? We've got one for like a Whitby or something, and it was like dog digs up clothes on beach. All right. It doesn't have to be